All right, happy Sunday, guys. We are now live, just waiting on my man RJ to join the chat. Happy Sunday, everyone. Just waiting on RJ to join the chat. We're going to be talking about fasting, veganism, fitness, everything tonight. Got a bunch of questions here. Everyone's jumping on. Just waiting on RJ to join. Hit join, RJ. All right, view request. Here we go. We're going live.
And in. Oh no, I'm not getting any sound. Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey.
There we go.
Yeah, there
Okay,
we go.
good.
There we go.
Okay, good. You
Nice.
got me now.
I had it connected to one of my speakers. So,
All right.
how are you, bro? All good?
Yep. Excellent. And it's actually 3 in the morning. Our clocks went
3
back
in the
last night.
morning. RJ's joining us 3 in the morning in New York City. Wow.
Wild. But I'm
Wild.
excited. I'm really excited to talk like-minded fasting and veganism. It's been a minute. I've been craving this.
Amazing, brother.
Well, I like the ink, man. What you got going there? What's on
I
the
got
forum?
avocado here. I got some bananas, beetroot, some kale. I got a pineapple. I'm a fruity guy, bro. Can everyone
That's
hear us?
awesome.
Give us a thumbs up. Can everyone hear us? You got any ink?
Nothing. Completely
You're
clean.
nude. That's why you're nude, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. I couldn't think of anything that I'd be good with 6 months later.
Fair
Everything
enough.
I tried. Yeah, I'm a weenie like that. Oh my God. So tell me about your history, man. How'd you get into the fasting and veganism? Tell me all about it. I'm so curious. I'm
All
obsessed
right.
with your recipes and everything, man. Unbelievable
Thank
how
you.
good the food is.
Thanks, man. So I'll just start off. I guess for me, veganism started probably back, six years ago now, where I was already quite a healthy child, helping my mother in the kitchen. We were full organic, everything like that. But I saw something while I was overseas in Africa that turned me vegan pretty much overnight in terms of the food side of it, plant-based. Yeah, I saw a cow getting, decimated, pretty much its neck and
You
head
saw
cut off,
that, you
like,
saw that like in person or on video?
yeah, in person, brother. It was probably like
Ooh,
from me to 5 meters away. So that kind of definitely really was a massive wake up and shock. Of course,
powerful.
after that comes the whole, research on products and clothing and healthcare and everything like that. But yeah, food first of all. I actually did my first fast, jumping onto fasting. I did my first fast at 15 years old.
Oh,
Um,
really?
gnarly. I did 15 days, bro. The first fast I ever did was 15 days.
Wait, what?
Can you believe it?
What? Who does
So,
a 15-day fast as their first fast as a
okay.
15-year-old?
So I probably got into fasting for the wrong reasons. My agent at the time, so I was a model back in the day, still do a bit
Mhm.
of work here and there, wanted me to lose, some weight and get really lean and shredded. So I Googled the fastest way to lose weight, and it was fasting. I didn't even have a cold pressed juicer at all. I had just a centrifugal juicer, so for everybody who doesn't know, the difference between a cold pressed juicer and a centrifugal juicer is a cold pressed juicer does it very, very slowly, keeping all of the nutrients intact, using no heat. So it basically becomes like a masticator. It chews up all of the fruit and comes out the juice, and one side comes out, all of the pulp. Whereas a centrifugal juicer uses heat. So it oxidizes and gets out all of the nutrients in the juice, but that's why it lasts only 15 minutes. So yeah, back onto that. I did 15 days on like burnt out, no nutrients at all.
That's
My mum did
unreal.
it with me as well. Like it was gnarly. Anyway, I got
What
down
you
to the
take
goal
in?
weight.
Just juice? That's it? Just juice?
Yeah,
Or nothing?
just juice.
Just
15 days. Yeah,
wow. Wow.
gnarly.
What were the results of the 15-day fast? Like what happened?
Uh,
Any
bro,
change physically?
well, I obviously changed my whole body. Um, got down to what I needed to, and it was a massive lesson. It was a really massive, big lesson. I was tired some of the time, but once you get past that day 5 kind of day, you go on this. I don't know if you've ever done. Have you ever done one past 5 days?
I just do 24 every day. I go once a day, every day, just once. I go as long as I can, generally 20 to 24 hours, and then eat. That's it.
So that's the longest you've ever done.
That's my style of fasting, but every single day in, day out, no breaks, nothing.
I love that, bro.
I'm the
Um,
polar opposite. That's what I'm so excited about this. We're on such opposite ends of our disciplines, but it's so similar. It's the coolest thing. Like I do the every single day fast. I never do the longer ones. You experiment with the longer ones. So it's so cool that we can come at such different perspectives, but in the same modalities.
Brother, so before I started my Ironman training, I was pretty much doing OMAD. So one
Mm.
meal a day, fasting 23 hours, which brings us to one of the questions somebody asked me, what do you feel on fasting 23 hours a day and eating once a day? So what are your thoughts on that?
Fasting 24 hours a day, eating once a day. I love
Yeah,
it. It makes it just like it's incredibly simple. Like it's just I am eating so much that I'm not hungry to eat again anyway. So like I'm really only hungry and like wanting food for maybe an hour, and that's generally after like a really hard workout, a day at work. So it's like it's not an issue at all on a day, especially if like a rest day. Yesterday was a rest day. It's a no-brainer. It's just the easiest way of fasting. I feel like it's just like it's the natural way my body craves eating. There's no effort being put in. I get to eat exactly whatever I want, even though I am eating like a plant-based and a whole food. Because I want to talk with you about that later too, like just the health
absolutely.
differences between like being a junk food vegan or a processed vegan versus a whole food like a real food vegan. Such a difference.
Yeah.
Because I definitely don't think a processed vegan is like necessarily like the healthiest way to go versus like a whole food is, yeah, that's rough to beat, especially for performance. So yeah, I think it's just simple. I mean, I get to eat as long as I eat within those parameters, eat whatever I want, tons of dessert, never consider diet, never think about any of that, and just eat myself sick. And then the next day I'm here I go. Okay, time to just go. Never be like I'm never digesting. I'm never feeling like that grogginess throughout the day of my stomach being full. I just have tons of energy, and it's simple, and I'm never worn down. I don't know. Like I'd love to know more about the extended fast because that's something that's like just crazy to me. And I
Tell
sound like a
me,
normie.
no,
I sound
not
like,
at all. First of all right, we've got some people tuned in. Tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, your background.
yeah.
Let's get a bit of insight so everyone knows what's going on.
I'm from Long Island, New York, so right outside the city, where we're on the island with the oceans and beaches and everything. So love it out there. I'm 38, so been doing this for a while. The fasting 3 years, but I did it a lot, and I didn't even know. Just like you, I was doing it a lot when I was in my teens, and I had no idea. Like I'd always eat like one meal a day, and just so without knowing it, but consciously fasting for like 3 years, and veganism somewhere between 6 and 7 years. You lose track after time, and
Yeah.
before that there was a brief meat interlude in between vegetarianism and veganism, but it was 13 years vegetarian before
Wow.
switching back over to vegan with a little brief meat interlude in there. I'm assuming, are you vegan like because of the animals or because of diet?
I guess, brother. So I basically became vegan, plant-based because of the animals in the beginning, and then comes all of the reasons: sustainability, for your own health, the planet. There's a whole list. There's it's not just one thing. I find that as you progress in the vegan lifestyle, it's impossible to keep your eyes closed to all of the things going around you, and the list just grows as to why you are. So to say that I'm only vegan for the animals wouldn't be fair
Yeah.
to all of the other reasons for everything else.
True, absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of similar. Like for me, veganism for me, I did entirely for the animals because I've always been a hippie and I was always eating very healthy anyway, and I was very health conscious with food. Like my mom was a hippie; she raised me like this. She taught me about food, and I've always been a massive hippie with how I eat. So
Love that.
yeah, then it's entirely just the animals. I can't get around like eating and killing something I love. Animals are just adorable. I can't deal with it. So. But fasting, 100% fasting, I do for the health and performance, like without a doubt, just health, performance, overall well-being. Like it's madness. I must say though, like vegetarianism, I would say I do for the animals, but veganism I do for health. That's actually a better way to put it, because like the milk and dairy, the eggs, no bueno, no good. And yeah, the planet. I mean, the planet just goes without saying. Like talking with it without even like I don't even like the effects on with the antibiotics, like the antibiotic resistance being bred from our factory farming, just factory farming in general is just the worst. I mean, anytime large international corporations get involved in anything, they ruin everything, especially food. Food is just a disaster. It's
We live
unreal.
in such a world that we're so heavily conditioned to believe that we need certain things, and things have been done a certain way for so long. So why should we change it? Everyone's just like got this massive tunnel vision, and
Hmm.
once you release those levers, there's no going back. You know,
No.
um,
You lift the curtain, you just realize so much of it is lies. Like, I mean, it's almost everything you look at. I mean, so much, there's just so much misinformation, and it's not like this desire to deceive. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's profit driven. They're looking to make money, and, it's not usually the honest means that make the most money. So convincing people of lack or convincing people of some hole that's being filled by some nonsense that's just creating the hole in the first place is usually the best way to, it's basically just drug dealing. You create a problem that
yeah,
will
pretty
keep going
much.
back, create an itch that'll keep getting scratched, and then like tell them that the scratching is the cure. It's just that's basically
Do you
factory
know what it
farming.
is? It's basically like putting, say, you put a frog in warm water rather than hot water, and you let it slowly boil, so that
Hmm.
it keeps boiling slowly, slowly, and it gets used to that, rather than putting it in hot water straight away, so it jumps out. So that's basically
Yes.
what we've been doing our whole life. We've been
Yes.
slowly, slowly burning, 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 and have a look at this planet now. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
disgrace.
And after the frog's been in the kettle for a couple decades, it looks down. It's like it's morbidly obese, like poor health, just sickness, just nothing's going well in life. And then they'll ask you a question for help a lot of times, and it's like how like, and you tell them explain veganism, they're like, I'm afraid that it's going to harm me or something like this. It's like you're harming yourself now. Please stop. Just you're harming animal, harming everybody. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to open people's eyes when they have so much invested in the lies that have been sold to them. It's sad.
Yeah, it's I guess it's one of those things, like if I'm having a conversation with someone, and if they're not going to be open to anything that I'm saying, then I won't even try it. I don't push my views on people.
No, you
I'll
can't.
tell people how I feel, and I find that the best way is to lead by example.
Yeah.
Be the best version of yourself possible. Like you, and people will follow in their own time.
Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, I think it's crazy. I think in order to like help others and be selfless, you have to be intrinsically selfish and just constantly focused on just being the best version of yourself to inspire others. Because people don't respect someone who's not like taking care of it and exemplifying what they're preaching. And it's I guess it's cool like that. Like the only way to reach others is to first like fix yourself, and everyone prospers. It's such a beautiful
Exactly.
symbiote. I love it.
Shall we get into some questions? I've got a bunch of
Yes.
questions here. First of all, we answered this one already. What's your take on 23-hour fasting per day? But for those that have just joined, let's go again.
I absolutely love it. It's the secret to, I truly believe it's the cheat code. It's the secret to my strength and physique, and honestly, just overall well being and general energy levels. So, like, that's my cheat code on life is the everyday long-term fasting every day.
Being the devil's advocate, I'll ask, so do
Yeah.
you eat dinner or do you eat breakfast?
I do dinner because I always consume my meal post workout. I always want to refuel after that. So, and I always work out at night. So generally I'll eat around like between 8 to 9 p.m. at night every day.
And again, I'll be the devil's advocate. What about eating before bedtime? Does that matter or?
For me, not even a little. And especially with the veganism, like I don't know, I can't speak for meat products. I can't speak for foods with different digestion rates. I eat a lot of simple carbs, as you know, I'm sure many of us tend to gravitate towards. So it really doesn't have much of an effect on me at all. And just vegan food in general, it's not at all like meat or typical processed food. If you're eating like whole food, like plant-based, as opposed to, you
Yeah.
know, just chips and fries and whatnot and
Yeah.
packaged
Well, so
goods.
so what would your typical meal be? Say like post like on a daily basis. What would you start
Sure.
with? Is there
Just
a typical order?
yes. Okay, so the way I go, and then obviously, oh, actually, we'll be going for long-term fasting. We'll get to you and your beautiful cooking soon, which, by the way, has completely inspired me. When I was cooking dinner last night, I'm completely like, oh man, I got to step my game up. I'm thinking of your
No,
page and your
no
recipes.
comparing, no comparing. You are
Oh,
beautiful. You are you. That's it.
thanks, bro. Yeah, but no, it's completely inspired just to like be more like, thoughtful and conscious of my cooking. My God, like you put such art into your food. I love it.
My passion,
And
brother.
yeah, my fiance is the same way. Makes beautiful meals. Like so, as photogenic as it is delicious and healthful. So I love it. So yeah, typical meal. Like last night, I just made a huge stir fry, like a lot of white rice, tons and tons and tons of vegetables, and and some tofu, and I had some leftover vegan beef stew. Everything I eat is always homemade. After that, had just some vegan cakes left over from 2 days ago, and
Nice.
a vegan protein bar to finish up with. It was a
Nice.
smaller calorie day. All said and done, it was probably a little over 2,000. It was a very small day of eating for me.
Love that.
2,000 calories. That's about it. And most of which were probably carbs. Maybe I don't know, maybe 60 grams of protein. That's another thing I want to talk about. The this whole like protein thing for bodybuilding and
Let's
performance and
jump into that now. Let's jump into the protein
yeah.
situation right now.
I
Go on.
just I don't know. I'm 170 pounds. I have a decent physique, I would say, especially when the age is brought into the factor. It's just like I don't understand this
Yeah.
myth that you need like 200 grams of protein a day, 250 grams of protein a day, just protein shakes. So like, at what point does it just become obvious that the dairy industry is just selling back its waste to us to, consume as protein powders and Greek yogurt and this, that, the other thing? It's like I eat like maybe six. I'm a body weight of like I know you guys use kilograms. I don't know the metric equivalent. I could probably do the weight in a second, but whatever. But 170 pounds. So the general myth for like athletes is like 1 gram of protein to like 1.5 grams of
Yeah.
protein per pound. Like that's
Right.
ridiculous. I don't consume that in a week sometimes. Like it's just it's
It's a lot.
unbelievable how
It's a
much
lot.
protein like people think they have to eat. What are your takes on
And
the
even
whole
even
protein myth?
well, look, there's protein in literally everything that we eat, fruits and vegetables, more than enough.
Yeah.
So again, it's that conditioning that we need to consume, when in fact, we've been led to believe our whole life that we need certain things, which it's not true. There's so much protein in vegetables alone, you know, nuts, legumes, grains, absolutely everything. And to say that, the fact that, animal protein is more bioavailable than that's again another sense of conditioning, and it's a load of bullshit. And if you have a look at all of the studies that are put out there, have a look at who's funding them, have a look at who's writing them. I mean,
Yes.
again, when you go,
It's I'm
totally,
glad you brought that up too,
I
because
think,
the inaccuracy of studies. Like at the end of the day, 90% of scientists will agree with whoever's paying them. It's like it's not a big eye opener to realize that, and even in the best conditions, most studies can't be reproduced anyway. So And then like the fasting, so that's something that people are constantly like going over and trying to like be like the voice of reason, like your fasting doesn't work. When they get into the growth hormone thing, the growth hormone debate, does it boost your growth hormone? Does it not boost your growth hormone? Like the big fasting growth hormone debate. At the end of the day, I don't care. Like I just got to a point where it's like I look at the studies, one study's this way, one study's that way, and then I just ask myself, was I in the study? Do I know anyone, like would their sample size, would it represent me? And then like I think of other people, like a person like you, like would you be part of their study? Like are they going to find like a long-term vegan, long-term fasting, like long-term athlete, that's like extremely practiced in their discipline? Like no, they're just going in and finding like random people. The biggest question, does the person like believe in the fasting? Because I mean, I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to placebo belief and faith in what you're doing, just to have any positive effect from anything. Because I mean, without that, you just really don't have anything. It's just like you're just following blindly, and your heart's not in it. Anything you don't believe in, you're not going to practice to the point where it does anything.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You
Yeah,
you you have to be 100% behind it, you know. So, and if you're not,
yeah.
then you're not going to see it. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I used to really like kneel before the studies and really let them guide me, like, and be like science, science, science. I just want the science. And now at this point, I'm just until I'm in the study, I just realize the only study that matters is how I apply these to myself and the data I collect off myself. Because
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's
That brings me
we're
to
all
another
different. We're
point.
all
Another
unique.
point. That's right. Everybody is so different. What works for somebody may not work for the next person. So, you have to do trial and error with yourself to work out what's
Yeah,
going to work for you. Rather than follow those people, and be like, oh, but they're doing it. Why isn't it working for me? And then can it? Well, listen to your body. Number one. That brings me to another point when I'm fasting. Um, I've learned to pass those hunger pains and stuff like that. But if it gets to a point where I feel like I need food, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna eat. I'm not gonna deny my body what it actually needs, because that's
yes.
unhealthy, and you know you, you're making yourself deficient. I mean, so always listen to your body. Always.
It's so important that you brought that up too, because like a lot of any of the people I help with the fasting, that's the first thing I tell them. If you accidentally break your fast early, don't then like lose your mind and then be like, I'm not going to fast anymore. That's it. It's all out the window. Just adjust your fast the next day and
Yeah.
just wait a little longer and make up your
Exactly.
time window and just go right back into it. Who cares? It's no big deal. Like none of
Yeah.
this matters. Just enjoy life, smile, and you'll get better results anyway with the lack of cortisol and all the stress in your body. Just enjoy. It's fun. You're eating. Like
Exactly.
smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
All right.
yeah,
Let's
it's
go to another
food.
question. Um,
Yeah.
how
Oh, what's up,
long? I'm going to
Renee? Oh,
answer this one.
Renee and
How long?
Lisa are here. What's up, guys? Oh, sorry. I was just saying hi to
Yeah,
some
there's
people. I
people on.
actually got some people awake in New York. All right.
How good's that? Let's have a scroll through.
Yeah.
See if I've got anything on here. Oh, 1 pound equals 450 grams. There you go. Oh, here's one. Here's
Oh,
a question.
nice.
I have a question. I am vegan, and I have followed a vegan diet throughout my pregnancy. My baby is 4 weeks old. Any baby vegan diet tips?
Ooh. Are you aware of any vegan baby diet tips? Like I've never dealt with vegan
I
pregnancy
mean,
or any of that.
I've never really dealt with it, but again, I believe that you can get everything from a plant-based diet, even
No.
as a young infant, as a baby, but we're led to believe that we need all of these things again by the big pharma, the big companies, everything like that. We're conditioned that children need to have meat, they need to have dairy. Again, if you look into the studies, that's all a lie.
Yeah.
The
I
worst thing
I
you
would
can do.
I would oh,
The,
sorry.
go on.
The worst thing you would do, what would you
Sorry.
say? I'm sorry. No, I cut you off. The
The,
worst thing you do, and then I'll go to my point.
I mean, it, during pregnancy, I think you're actually damaging your child more if you're going to be feeding them meat and dairy and stuff. We're just subliminally conditioned to believe that that's what's okay and that's what's right, but it's not.
I absolutely agree. I would say like my take on this, I'm not by any means like a pregnancy or baby specialist with veganism or anything.
Nor am I. Nor
I
am
would
I.
just yeah, I would just say like most things generally boil down to are you consuming enough calories to adequately meet your needs? Like I don't think it matters if you're getting it from an animal source. At the end of the day, it will be broken down into micronutrients, macro, like it's just going to be protein, amino acids, fats, fatty acids, carbohydrates, sugar, like it's just going to break down into its individual parts. So I would just say, like, just make sure your baby's getting enough DHA and give it like a good out. Make sure your child's getting enough algal oil. Like, make sure there's a lot of choline for brain development. Just go through and make sure it's getting all the required adequate nutrition. Just don't be feeding your baby like processed food. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's babies. Most babies are vegans in the beginning anyway, if you don't consider breast milk an animal product or anything along those lines. So. That would be if I were
Exactly.
to have a child, I would certainly raise my child vegan and then let them choose to eat meat
I'm
when
in
they're
agreement.
older. Yeah, that would be my choice, and I see no reason why a person couldn't be healthy on plant-based diet. It just boil like there's no need to eat meat. It's just a need to consume the right nutrient profile and just enough of that. I think it's just not under eating.
Yeah,
That's it.
answered
Yeah,
well.
it's like starvation. People associate veganism with starvation, and they just can't seem to
Yeah.
get their brains around it. But whatever. Any other good questions? I know you were asking another question when we scrolled up through and I interrupted saying
I
hi to
think I've
people.
answered this one before. How long have you been vegan for? I've been vegan for six
Yeah,
years.
six.
Yourself?
Let's just say six. I'll round down to six. It's somewhere in there. So 12 years combined.
Somewhere
All right,
there.
nice
I mean, it's
work.
hard to
Yeah,
lose track.
yeah. The 6 year club.
Um, Fave thing about
Hey, how long
life.
have you been fasting for? How long have you been fasting for, actually? So I
Oh,
was
so
like 3 years.
all
How
right.
long for you?
So let's get into fasting. So I did my first fast again. Yeah, 11 years ago. Did my first ever fast, and that was the 15-day one.
Mm,
I've done the 30-day one before on just water. It sounds gnarly, but that was in a very safe place. It was monitored. It was in Bali. It was beautiful. Long
very cool.
fast, long-term fasting and intermittent fasting both have their benefits. Um, long-term fasting has more healing property benefits, whereas
Yeah,
intermittent fasting daily has totally different benefits. Um, Before I started doing my endurance training, yeah, like I said, I was one meal a day, or
mm,
2 meals a day, 24 hours, 18 hours fasting, always, always, always fasting. And I would eat at dinner time, same as you. Now
yeah,
that I have tackled and started doing endurance training, and on really, really high training days, I burn upwards of 7,000 calories, which is a
yeah.
lot to burn. I don't fast because I just I'll hit a brick wall by
It's
Wednesday.
impossible.
You know,
Mm,
it's impossible. I can't
yeah.
even eating all day. I can't even eat 7,000 calories, let alone the ones I
I,
need
I had the
when I'm not training.
I had the same problem. I used to compete in jujitsu. I had the same problem. The amount of calories I consumed training all day long, like that's what actually switched me off vegetarianism, where I started eating meat again. I was training so much, and the amount of food I had to consume, I just didn't think I could like get it done without plants. It was a huge mistake. I totally was able to, but exactly the same. Like it just yeah, with the amount of calories you need to consume, sometimes it might be difficult to fast. But anyway, continue more with the long-term fasting. It's interesting you brought that up. Yeah, that you
Yeah.
don't
So
fast due to your training
when I'm not
sometimes.
yeah, so when I'm not training, when I've got a week where like I know that I can chill, and then the week after is going to be not too intense, I'll do a longer fast for the benefit of I love, why I love fasting? Because I can feel my body cleaning. I can feel the cells that are being unuseful dying off, and it regenerating new cells. What's the word I'm looking for? The telomeres,
Autophagy.
increasing longevity.
Oh, the lengthening
Autophagy.
of the telomeres. Yes,
Yeah.
I
I
I
mean,
really
that
feel
is
like the
why I do it.
lengthening telomere. Yeah, I feel like the lengthening telomeres and like the autophagy, it just, I think that really is the general sense of well-being you get from the fasting. And like the longer you do it, it just keeps magnifying and magnifying. Yes, 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 yes. So here, go on. I'm sorry. I just had to agree with that. Like, yes.
My whole concept, of fasting, the reason I believe so heavily in it as well, is take it back to our ancestors who used to roam the land, right? They would go days, sometimes weeks, without getting food. They would have to hunt, and sometimes they wouldn't be successful, and sometimes they would. And when they did, they would feast, but then they would go again days without food. And even though we as humans have developed, throughout time, that's still the natural way for our body, to thrive. We're in a society now where we can have a snack, we can have a large meal, we can have whatever we want, whenever we want. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we should be doing that. You know,
Yeah.
it's just that, again, it's that mental conditioning that we need to eat every 2 hours. We need to keep consuming, 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 and get sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. When, in fact,
Yeah.
if you leave your body to rest, you know, the best part of fasting is, for me, knowing that, take it when you eat something, right? You'll know this. When you eat something, your body has to work. It has to use energy to release gastric juices and to get the digestive enzymes going, to break down that food that goes inside your body, to plug it into different cells and into the blood, into the muscles. When you're not eating, all of that energy that is being used to digest food is now being useful somewhere else. And that,
Mm-hmm.
my
So
friend, is
much
why I
more
love
energy.
fasting. So much more energy. When people say, oh, but you must be tired, you must be this, must be that. When your body's not used to it in the beginning, you're going to go through waves, and that's actually just cravings. That's not hunger, and you're not going to die and get deficient and, oh my God. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is why I love fasting.
Wow, that's so. How do you feel though? Like, what did the 30-day fast feel like? Because that's that's
Oh,
amazing to me.
man,
Respect, man. Unreal.
you thank you. Yeah, I just felt like I needed a total reset, a total complete reset. And so, I've got a lot of friends who are involved in fasting, and who've healed themselves from diseases, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, like a whole bunch of stuff. And so I started hanging out with
Wow.
them, and so I decided to do one myself. And man, it is an absolutely transformative 30 days. It's intense. You want to make sure that you've
Wow.
got nothing on your schedule for the next month, even after, because you begin the refeeding and everything like that, and it can get dangerous. Which is why I did it in a supportive environment. Where people were watching, and because it
So,
can get quite serious.
how much weight did you lose, and how did you refuel yourself at the end of the 30 months? Like, how did you build yourself back up? How did you build your microbiome back up? What did you do? How did you refeed?
Yeah, so basically, I don't even know how much weight I lost, man. Like a fair bit of weight, but it was all like fecal matter that has been building up inside of you for so long, And each fast that you do is different. There's always different toxins and stuff coming out, so not every one fast
Okay.
is going to be the same. Um, so there's always a built up from years and years and years of eating and of just toxins inside of you, that you're amazed that even on like day 20 or day 18, that you're still actually going to the toilet, and you're like, I haven't eaten. Where is that coming from? You know?
So much of that must
And
just be your
I,
microbiota coming out. Yeah. Wow.
yeah, bro, man, I remember the first time I saw parasites in my toilet, like the little worms.
Wow.
And for me, that
Wow.
was crazy.
That's
Yeah,
wild. That's wild. Yeah.
wild.
Wow.
And I'm
Oh
talking,
my
I'm talking
God.
like day 25. Like
Day
even day
25,
25, I
oh
lost
my,
water, bro.
wow.
Gnarly.
That, that is insanely wild. Wow. All right, and then how'd you refuel? Just mostly fruits in the beginning,
Uh,
mostly veg.
starting with juices, um, raw fruits, smoothies, everything cold, slowly, then warming back up to, like, blanched vegetables and easily
Mm.
digestible soups and natural things, and then you slowly incorporate again legumes and everything like that. Yeah.
What an interesting way to burn yourself to the ground and just build yourself. What a phoenix story. That's very cool. What a interesting way to do it. We had an awesome question here, by the way. Just
Go
right
on.
here. Juliet Emily asked, "How is it possible to convince my family to veganism? I'm vegan and it's been more than a year, and it's horrible sharing fridge with all the meat and eating with them. The eating with them, it doesn't torture me as bad, but yeah, it's disgusting seeing like something. I couldn't agree more. Like looking inside a fridge and seeing something I
Totally.
love, just the tissue sliced apart, like simmering in its own blood. It's horrific, but." I don't know. Do you have any tips on how to convince people? I don't think there's any way to convince people. I think you can only just exemplify the life and try to inspire them, and hopefully, just through time, like
Exactly.
just keep offering help to them when they ask. I would say, like, I don't think you can convince anyone of anything unless it's bad for them. Then
I
it's really
I
easy.
agree with you. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think you should push your views on them. I think you should just lead by example, like you just said, and what we spoke about earlier. And they'll come to it slowly in their time, or they won't at all. But you need to focus on yourself. Um, this is the same story that's happened with my sister. I've tried so many times, and I've just left it, and slowly she's coming around. But I find that when
Hmm.
she's talking to her friends, they mention something to her friends when it comes from an outside source rather than a family member, they'll listen, because they think, oh, if my friend's doing it, then maybe it's maybe
Hmm.
it's a thing, But if my brother's doing it, then like why should I do it? But yeah, give up on trying to convince them, but just make dinner, make it yourself, or even just encourage maybe one night a week you'll do the cooking, and show them how great plants can actually be and how tasty they are. Otherwise, I know it's hard to look in the fridge and stuff, but you just have to close a blind eye because it's everywhere. It's going to be everywhere your whole life.
Yeah, you have a really
It's
good
hard
advantage
losing
at
your own
this
house,
because
though.
yeah, it's like an invasion. It really is. Even just I can't stand seeing raw meat. Raw meat is bad. But you have an unfair advantage with your cooking. It's a lot easier to convince people of veganism with good vegan food, and especially really good looking vegan food. My God, man. Unbelievable. Like, yeah, I would say good vegan food. If you want any way to convince someone and win them over to your tribe, you got to feed them. You definitely get a lot more flies with honey than
Got to feed
vinegar.
them.
So definitely, yeah, feed them, and convince them how good it is. That's the
Yep.
only way. Just
Sweets,
just
cakes,
the
cakes.
same
I
way they
find
started eating unhealthy. Just give them good
exactly
food. Give them
transitional
stuff that
foods.
tastes good. Yeah, that's how they went the wrong way. That's how they strayed. You got to bring them back the same way. You can only bring them back through just enticing them. That's it. It's the only way.
Exactly right. Yeah.
By the way, when you were talking about the ancestry before and like, how we were like, yes, fasting and binging, I could not agree more. It's the only way that we survived as a species. Like every animal in nature, essentially just eat as much as possible when it's there and then, go through the lean times to get more. Like the Industrial Revolution completely destroyed our sense of, what humanity is or how that we're, somehow not animals anymore. Like, yeah, we're still animals. We're just animals with cool tools and cool toys, and we can talk to people in Australia at 3 in the morning. It's wild. So you're training
Yeah.
now. So this is interesting too. Both vegan, both
Yeah.
fasting. We have very different training modalities, but very similar in that we essentially use our bodies. So you're much more
Yes.
endurance based, and I'm essentially meathead yoga. So
Yeah.
so tell me
Totally
about how
different.
you feel. Yeah, how does it feel with the training? Because people are always asking me, like with the fasting and the veganism, do I feel weak? Like how? Because most of what I do is strength based, and they're always asking if I feel
Yeah,
weak. How do I have the energy or the strength? Especially like doing a strength based workout in the 20-hour range of a 24-hour, 23-hour fast. So
yeah,
do you want to start with endurance and then I'll go to strength?
yeah. Let's do that. In terms of plant foods, in
Yeah,
terms of
so
meat
like
food.
yeah, when you are fasting or anything like that, like I understand that you adjust your caloric intake or whether or not you're fasting, but let's say you were just like an entry level, you were getting it, you wanted to get more physically fit and begin fasting because most people aren't going to be like a long practiced athlete or a long practiced faster.
Yeah,
So let's say
yeah,
you're entering in and you wanted to start, say, maybe do endurance training. Like let's say, and you could only train at the tail end of a fast, or maybe you can only train in the morning and you can only eat at night. Like maybe you'd have to train mid fast. Have you done like endurance training both mid fast and like at the end of the fast? And did you feel any difference with that?
yeah. So I have obviously when I just started doing endurance training, quite a while ago, I I started coming off, doing fasting and eating one meal a day, and I found that that really didn't work for me in terms of the physical like stress I was putting on my body, and I really needed that energy because I'm training for 3-4 hours plus. There
Yeah,
comes a point where I need to refuel while I'm actually training as well, because then
yeah.
I won't be able to finish my session. So I did a just this, to answer that question. I did a 90K bike ride, fully fasted. I was 24 hours fasted,
Okay.
no food, and I hit 55K, and at 55K, my body just I couldn't give any more. I like I needed to eat. I was at probably
True
26 hours
starvation.
then, and 50, yeah, I just had no energy to I just felt no power left in my legs. Um,
Wow.
and from that point on, I made a promise to myself that like when I'm doing massive things like that, I can't fast. Um,
Okay.
if I'm going to fast, then I'll fast all day. I'll break the fast,
Mhm.
then I'll go and do that, rather than
Okay, cool.
fast, do that, and eat after. So I'll fast all day, and then I'll do that, and so I'll eat, and then I'll do that activity, because
Do you ever
there's
use
no
amino
way.
acids?
Amino acids, yeah, I use amino acids, yeah,
Okay, yeah, I will too sometime. Like with when fasting, I'll mix in some amino acids throughout the day, especially like if I'm working throughout the day and constantly doing labor, I will definitely sip amino acids throughout the day.
yeah.
Do you have any preferences or anything? Do you use any other type of supplement? I just use amino acids and like occasionally a pre-workout.
Um, yeah, I use yeah, so amino acids, BCAAs,
Yeah.
and I have occasionally I have a pre-workout as well, depending on what the session is that I'm doing. So if I'm doing a really intense, like quick session, I'll have my pre-workout.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, not really. Sometimes I use creatine, but not really. Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
just
And
the
I have
creatine
B12
and the
every day.
pre-workout. Yeah, B12 and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
some algal oil. Yeah. Same. So, and I'll just aside from that, just vitamins like particularly C, D3, and K2. That's it. Or just some stuff like that. So, all right, yeah, no protein powders or anything like that either, right?
Sometimes I do, yeah, have
Mm,
protein powders.
okay.
Like I said before, on heavy training days, I definitely will add them, because if I'm burning up to 7,000 calories, my
Yeah.
my energy intake needs to be extremely high for me. I've done it before where I haven't, and when I started including them, I started to feel like more, more awake and more better come Wednesday,
Nice.
come Thursday, having done a math session on Monday, rather than hit a wall Wednesday, and just be depleted, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling of being depleted.
I
So
do
I
the
listen to my
I do the
body,
same
you
thing
know?
with protein bars. I do the same thing with protein bars because I prefer chewing it other than drinking it. So I don't that way I don't consider it a supplement. I just consider it like a healthy candy bar. So
Yeah,
I'm cheating on that one. It's
love that.
technically a supplement. Yeah. So for me, I do
Yep.
my calisthenics training at the end of the fast though is I don't like working out in the middle of a fast. I definitely feel a difference if I work out mid fast and then afterwards I feel extremely depleted as the day progresses. If I work out in the morning and then I can't eat again till night if I'm on my regular schedule. So I always work out at the end of the day and then eat after the workout and I feel incredible. A huge difference. Much better. For me, I would not eat mid fast if I'm doing strength training. It's just afterwards I'm just gonna feel like a zombie. It's just no good. I'm not a fan of that. So
Yeah.
Samo,
I agree. I
like
agree with
do
you.
you
That's
feel it affects your strength in any way, or like do you feel any difference between when you weren't vegan versus now you are vegan, or fasting without fasting? Do you feel a performance difference? And which one do you think aids your
um
performance more?
I definitely veganism. I've never been stronger. I've never been faster. I've never been more powerful in my whole life. I'm only 26 years old, but having gone vegan 6 years ago, like my strength and my endurance and my ability to compete and push out exercise, it's incredible. If anyone's seen the documentary The Game Changers, there are some massive fine examples of human specimens around the world, Olympians, strongest people in the world, that are plant-based. um, so it definitely doesn't make you weaker, it definitely doesn't make you slower, and you recover faster. So
That's my main benefit that I get from the veganism is the lack of inflammation. Like I notice that
the
drastically.
lack of
Like when I yeah, the difference between consuming meat like versus not consuming meat, like unbelievable the difference in inflammation and recovery. Like very noticeable. That was strong. And then the fasting, I really feel like is just a complete performance enhancer. A million percent, just
it's
across
like
the
a
board
hack.
performance enhancer. Yeah, it really is. It just physique and strength and physique strength and just health and well-being is just it's truly a hack. And just mixed with veganism is unbelievable. It's yeah, like veganism I really feel is like a health and well-being and recovery and all that. And then like the fasting, ironically, is just pure savagery. Like it, just to accomplish greatness. It's just like it really is a cheat code to just be strong and powerful
It feels like
and
it feels like a
lean.
cheat. It should be illegal.
It really does. It feels like you're cheating. It really feels like is this is like, oh my God, my body's making its own steroids. It's the greatest thing in the world. Like I really feel like I'm cheating. Like I really do. Like and the people who are like, oh, it doesn't do the growth hormone. They want to do that's why I'm so done with the growth hormone debate. I don't care. I just don't even care. I don't want to read another study because at the end of the day, I feel like I'm on something. I don't know what shooting growth hormone feels like, but I'm assuming it feels like this because whatever I feel like from fasting, it does not feel natural. Once I pass that 3 month mark, like, oh my God, it's like the first couple months, it's like the first 2 weeks, it's like, nah, this isn't that bad. I can do this. This is all right. Then it's like week two. It's like, eating's overrated. It's getting kind of boring. But like I'm kind of hungry some days. And then by the time of like month three, and then like looking down, the changes and like strength and everything, just how much easier it is. It's just like, yeah, I'm never eating. I'm eating once a day for the rest of my life. I'm never eating ever again. This is stupid. It's so easy.
Your
It's just
body
so
is
easy.
so it it's so easy. Once your body is so quick to adapt, and once it learns, man, you're just like, this is it. I've hit it. Once it learns, yeah, that's right. You go through a little adjustment period, of course, like anything, but once it learns everything, oh my God, it's easy. Yeah,
It
absolutely.
really is. and both with veganism, and I want to bring this up, both with veganism and with the fasting, and a lot of people don't realize this, and I think that it's a lot of the trouble why people quit. Like maybe they'll only do it for like a week or like a couple of days, and then or maybe even like a month, and then they're like, oh, I just couldn't do it. I just wasn't feeling right from it. Anytime you do any major change in diet, whether it be restricting the time in which you're eating or what you're eating through veganism, you're clearly going to have massive changes going on in the microbiome of your digestive system. Like all your gut bacteria is going to be changing. So like if you remove meat from your diet, you're going to be starving off a whole host of bacteria within you that they're not going to be happy as they're dying off. They're going to be releasing a lot of chemicals, a lot of there's going to be a lot of things going into your system that might not make you feel your best. Where as soon as like your gut clears out and you repopulate and you get rid of those little nasties, like you're going to feel a trillion times better. The same goes with fasting. It's like so much of what you're going to go through is just a lot. Most of what people consider hunger is really just you're emptying out. Your bacteria is just being greedy. Like that's really all it is. It's just stomach emptying. You're not hungry. Like the rest of your system's still packed with food, probably for a few more days with most of the food we eat. It doesn't pass through quickly. It's just people are
Yeah.
so misled, and I really feel like like at the end of the day we got everyone against us. We got like the media, we got advertising and marketing in this year, and in the other year we have our whole microbiome and our whole gut bacteria system over here being like, feed us horrible things, feed us all these other things because we don't want you to let us like die off in the week or the month it takes for us to repopulate. And it's just give your body just like a month, a month or 2 months. Just so much of what the success is changes in bacteria. The bacteria does everything. It's so we're barely human. It's mostly bacteria in our bodies. Do you have any
That's
thoughts on
right.
that? Or is that like a thing, or am I going like over hippie?
No, I love this. We're just like you just said, we're barely human. We're just bacteria. We're just these little electro, vibrations. That's
Yeah,
it.
we're just like we're some kind of spirit animating a meat vehicle made out of bacteria. That's essentially all it is. It's bizarre. We're not ourselves, and the only thing that makes us us is the only thing that we can't prove is in our body. It's madness.
Madness.
It's
And I
really
love
it
that.
really is wild. It's like it's true. Like it's mind blowing. I don't know. But what are your plans for the future? Like, what are you going to do with your fasting? What are you going to do with your veganism? How are you going to spread? How are you going to spread the beauty of your creations, your meals? Let's go. Like, what are your future plans with all this? Because you are on the way up, sir.
My friend, I well, you know what? I've just been offered a position to work with my current coach, which has been on the cards for a while, and I just can't believe, things just come to people. Anyway, so what I'm doing is, so my coach is based on nutrition, fitness, transformation, everything, veganism, and he's offered me to work side by side with him, to be able to coach people, which is, what my purpose in life is, to help people. That's why I'm actually on this planet. So I'm so excited to be able to start working with him and to be able to help transform people and educate people. Education
Yes,
is, the absolute key, and that's why I do everything that I do, is to inspire and to educate and to hopefully help people. That's it. All I want to do is help people and make people happy, because that is the main purpose of life. So I found my why,
do it. Yes,
and
beautiful.
depending on, and you can shift and change in whatever avenue you like, and this is going to be my next little stepping stone. So I'm so excited, um, to be able
Congrats,
to
man.
do
It's
that.
gonna be
Um,
beautiful.
how about you? How about you?
I'm just enjoying this right now. My life has gone through so many different phases, especially now, I'm getting a bit older, going to be 40 in another year, like it's just life is beautiful now. It's just I realize it's just like you're saying, just I just help people. I try to like just do things I love all the time, be around people I love all the time. And then it's just like, hey, why is my life so wonderful? Why do I have so much fun? Why do I enjoy everything I do? And it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of the secret, like just love the people you're around and do things you love. So that's how I do my life now. It's like, I love that you're getting into the coaching aspect. Teaching, coaching is like, coached and coach taught personal training. I've taught everything for years. Used to own two gyms. Like now it's just nice. Now I just I work in a different industry now that I got into after like a failed gym problem, and then like it's just beautiful. I just get to like kind of like just do that, keep it separate, and now I just help people. I don't want any money from them. I don't want anything. I just want to help people because I mean at the end of the day, I guess it's inherently selfish because it just keeps making my life better. So it's like yeah, I'm helping you, but at the end of the day, it's mostly for me because I get more out of it than you do. That's basically what I'm up to. Just more of that in the future. Just enjoy where my life is taking me, enjoy where my relationship is taking me, and enjoy all my relationships where they're taking me. Just in a good place. I'm really, really happy and satisfied with life and
Beautiful.
just keep
Beautiful.
experimenting and learning more. And man, so cool to have this talk with you. I love this. I've been craving it, craving it, craving it, craving it. You
Love that.
you want to open up some questions to some people? Give
Yeah.
them a
All
chance
right.
to ask some more questions.
I got some questions here that I've got, and then we'll open up to the audience.
Yeah,
So we've answered most of these already. This one's funny. How are you guys so sexy?
uh, oh my God. I blame my mom.
Yeah, genetics.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. Just thank you. Yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah.
pretend you're a 15-year-old when you're 40. I don't know. What else you have?
Does anyone?
My people didn't get that many questions, and it's Halloween over here in America.
All right, I've got a lot of them, but they're kind of geared how to me. But how often are you fasting, and are you making okay? Are you making fitness or running during the time of fasting? I guess we kind of already covered that. Hey, um,
Yeah.
so yeah, we do both fast, and definitely I would train after. I would train before eating.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So both of us like to eat after training. So we always train. We always do our training at
eat
the end
after
of
training.
fasting. Yes, eat right after
That's good.
training. Yeah,
Yeah,
refuel after training. A trillion percent.
yeah.
Yeah, at least in our experience, or do whatever works for you. But in our experience, definitely eat after training.
What is your mindset during fasting, and how does it vary, and how do you stay positive? You go
Do
first.
you, want-
So, what is your?
my
I guess let's go on.
My mindset is just like it's usually like I wake up, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for coffee. I really like coffee. I wake up, I feel great. I'm like, oh, I feel all lean and spry and great. Like after eating a ton last night, I just wake up and I feel excellent. Then I'm like, oh, I want some coffee. Then I'll like go have coffee. Then I'm like, hey, I gotta go to take care of my job now. I gotta go just enjoy my day laughing. I'm like, hey, it's lunchtime. I don't have to worry about food. I could just go like, enjoy myself and go like hang out and like, do things I'm interested in. It just, oh, hey, I can go train now. It's just, I don't know. I'm loaded with energy. I feel amazing at all times, and I don't have to worry about food. I don't have to feel sluggish. Like, I don't know. It's amazing. Like that, my mindset during fasting every day is essentially, wow, this is awesome. I can't believe I used to eat food.
Bro, you save
Like,
so much time. So much time. You don't have to
it's so
think
much
about
time.
food all day.
Yeah. Think of
You're
how much
saving
time it
time.
takes to
You're
be like,
saving time.
so much time to be like, "Ugh." Here, food. Here's all my money for food. Then afterwards, it's like, oh, it's like, I
Yeah,
can't. Like,
yeah.
eating is terrible. Eating feels terrible. And then I just eat at night, and then like naturally after I eat anyway, I just want to like collapse and pass out. So it's nighttime. So it's like, oh wait, now it's bedtime. That my mindset throughout the day with fasting is always, this is wonderful. I love this. Then I go to work out. I'm like, ooh, it's time to work out. This is so much fun. I'm in heaven. And then after I work out, I'm like, hey, I'm pretty hungry. It's a good thing I'm on my way home to eat now. And then after eating, I'm like, oh, this is great. Now I'm going to sleep. So yeah, it's heaven.
I
What
love
about
that.
you? How's your mindset?
My mindset during fasting is I just enjoy every single moment of it, because like I said before, I know what my body's doing. I'm like, man, I'm cleaning my body. I'm increasing my telomeres, my longevity. Like I'm I'm becoming a machine. Like I'm the energy, like my mindset, I'm just, you know what? When I fast, I feel so mentally focused and so mentally clear, you know, which counteracts what everyone thinks. They're like, how can you think you're not eating, blah, blah. My brain is like on point,
A
like I
thousand
have like
miles a minute. It's just
clarity.
like, brrr, yeah,
It's like
hyperspeed,
that movie. It's like you've taken a drug and, you're just like,
limitless. It's like
like I said
limitless. It's
before,
the
how
limit.
can this
Fasting is the limitless
limitless?
pill. Yeah,
How can life be?
yes.
How can I be
I
so
think
like,
about that all the time. It really is the limitless pill.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so glad you said that.
crazy,
Yeah. So,
crazy.
damn. Oh, what's this? Oh, we got a question down
Is
here.
matcha tea? Yeah, go on.
Is matcha tea healthier choice than coffee? I'm a huge coffee fanatic, but I've heard matcha is also good. Could you share your thoughts? You wanna take the lead on this one? I have thoughts on it as well.
Yeah. I love both things. I love matcha. I love coffee. The reason I love matcha is because it has 137 times the antioxidants as green tea. It's grown in the shade, and it has, um, man, it's matcha and coffee both have. The reason I love matcha is because you don't get a come down effect off it at all. When you're consuming very high grade ceremonial matcha, matcha is anti-inflammatory. Matcha is, oh man, the antioxidants in matcha are far greater than, 1 teaspoon of matcha, 3 grams, has way more antioxidants than a blueberry.
Oh, by far.
That's how gnarly.
And
Yeah, it's
it's delicious when it's properly
coffee,
whisked with a bamboo whisk.
the natural
Only
way.
thing I would add to
Cat,
that.
hello, kitty cat. Cat coming in.
And what are your
I
thoughts
got
on
a cat
coffee?
coming in. Coffee. I don't drink coffee every single day, but I do love coffee, and there's nothing wrong with coffee at all. I think it's quite healthy to consume, some caffeine, some coffee. There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah,
You know,
I love coffee.
just
Drink
so long as you
coffee.
don't
I drink it black. I
become
drink the tea. No milk, no sugar. That's it. No plant milk, no sugar. That's it. Black.
long
That's it.
black.
That's my thoughts on coffee and
Black.
matcha. Both black. Go nuts. Have fun. They're delicious and wonderful. Just don't overdo it. Don't go wild on the coffee.
Yeah.
Do
Use
you
it
have any other
wisely at the right time.
yeah, use it wisely and use it deliciously. Don't waste your life on bad tea and bad coffee.
Yeah.
Did you have any did did you have any other questions from your people, or should we like, or I could brainstorm some questions. I have a few good questions probably.
What about this one here? Favorite movie?
Oof, oof. So you take the lead on that one because I think I know what you might be saying now.
Well, look, it really depends on what mood I'm in. If I'm in for drama, romance, action, or if I'm in for a documentary. But since a child, I don't know what it is with the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. There's something about it that I absolutely love. I don't know if it's their relationship or what it is. I just find it. I just love it. It's a great movie. But again, it depends on my mood, what I'm in for the mood for. How about you?
I'm gonna go with the. I don't watch much TV or movies. I would say the same. Like if we were to for a favorite movie, it would definitely be like dependent on the mood. But I'll go with my most enjoyable movie throughout history, and like I really enjoy watching, and I can still watch it regularly. Is definitely Idiocracy. I adore Idiocracy.
Good one.
Very, very funny and disturbingly accurate.
Nice. All right. What else we got here? Um. Oh, here's one. Here's one for me from Caden. What do my triathlon workouts look like? My triathlon workouts, I do I do 3 endurance sessions a week. So I'll do swim, bike, run, endurance, long sessions. So whether that's 6 hours on the bike or 3 hours running or an hour in the ocean or whatever. And then I'll also do, interval sessions. So threshold sessions where I literally can't breathe, and that's the way to build up, my lactic acid, work past my threshold so that when I come to race, that running at my race pace, it literally feels like nothing.
Mm.
How about your workouts?
That's
Let's ask about your workouts. What do you
I was
focus
just
on?
gonna. Oh, and also I just want to say the Princess of Persia, Interstellar, great choice, excellent, excellent, excellent choice. So my
Love that.
workouts are so normally prior to all the COVID lockdowns, I was teaching submission grappling twice a week as well, and doing a lot of rolling. But now I haven't done that since March, so that ended in March, and I still haven't gone back to that. But I have my workouts are 6 to 7 days a week. I'll usually force myself a day off. Like right now, I'm forcing like yesterday I took off. I'm getting my elbows are getting a little beat up, so just healing the elbows up. And so today I'll be working out in a little while. Eventually, when I wake back up after this, and my workouts consist of I always do body weight, always calisthenics workouts, sometimes a little weight mixed in just for legs, or just weighted calisthenics. I start with handstands, then move to rings, and then
Love that.
move to legs and abs. So it's handstand. It's for me. It's always handstands, some kind of like hanging movement, and then legs and abs at the end. And yeah, I don't
Nice.
if you have any interest in my workouts, it's all over my page. That it's my I adore
Head
it.
over to his page. He's an
Yeah,
absolute beast. I love it. All right, I've got another
it's
one.
fun, and
Hi. Hi, I'm vegan and too fat. How can I lift, diet, and protein, or only raw? This is a great one. Do you want to go? Do you want to go on this one?
yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
You absolutely can and should lift. I think everyone should be stronger. I mean, I would say recommend most importantly, like learn to lift your body and whatever you do, focus on technique. Most strength is technique, so don't get fooled. Don't go too heavy in the meathead. If anything, be a thinking meathead and go completely meathead on your technique, and you'll be a lot stronger and appear a lot stronger. And as far as diet and protein goes, just fast. I mean, it's basically what we've been talking about the whole time anyway. Just fast, and then just make sure you're eating enough. Like I don't think anything should really be about like lack per se. Like that's what's beautiful about fasting too. It's such a beautiful mindset to be in where you're focusing on eating enough as opposed to like trying to be like, oh, I shouldn't eat. I got to eat foods that aren't real so that I don't consume anything. I got to keep trying to, like, it's so weird. Yeah, just start fasting. That would be your quickest way. If you don't want to fast, just eat whole food. Don't eat processed food. Like that alone. Like that's the best diet to go on first. Like before you start any diet, just get rid of processed food. Start eating food before you try to figure out like how much
Amen.
food you should eat. Yeah,
Amen to
that
that.
that that would be my
Amen
recommendation.
to that.
Absolutely get stronger. I would lift my body before I lift weights. If I do lift weights, I'd get as absolutely technical as possible, body or weight. And as far as dieting, I'd switch to real food before trying to figure out how much food.
Yeah,
And definitely fast. If you're able to fast, and it's interesting too. Like I wouldn't change anything
totally.
ever. Fasting is heaven. What about you?
I I agree with so much of what you just said. I think strength work, whether it's lifting weights or doing body weight stuff, is at the utmost important thing anyone in life can do. Um, you know, is to be able for injury prevention. You know, to be able to make sure that your body is working like an absolute machine. You need to actually keep this cat's like climbing everywhere. Keep it. Do you know what? Like, I injured myself when I first started doing endurance training. I had never run more than 10 kilometers in my whole life. I went out and I ran 25, 25, 25. So I ran 75 Ks in 3 days. I got to
Mhm.
Friday and like I couldn't walk. Um, First of all, my ego got in the way. That was idiotic. But I had really weak glutes, and I actually couldn't train for another two weeks. I had shin splints. I fractured my ankle, and so I went to see an
Wow.
osteo and one of my friends. Yeah, wild. That's when I invested in a coach. But back to the strength work. Strength work is at the utmost important thing. So I make that my absolute number one every single day. I work on the one percenters, because those one percenters are going to help keep you strong and be able to perform better with anything in life. Say for instance, like when we're standing up, people tend to stand like on an angle. If we can like stand
Hmm.
straight and make sure that we're keeping our tucked in rather than out like this. A lot of people, I don't know if people can see, but a lot of people stand like this, with their back arched. I've been taught now to like keep it in, which helps protect and strengthens your core and helps absolutely everything. So it's all
I'm
those like
so
little tips
glad.
and tricks.
I'm so glad you just brought that up because that's literally everything I do, the hollow body position. So, the pelvic tilt into the thoracic arch. It's like people really underestimate how important it is to understand how to connect your lower body to your upper body and just how to use your spine and how to use your and your hip angle and like yeah, the more you learn about your body the better. It's just learn how to operate your vehicle. It's amazing. And yeah, you always want, nobody's ever been like, oh, I wish I was weaker, I wish I wasn't stronger. So yeah, definitely get strong. And just anything you put into your body is a good investment. We had two really good questions that just popped in here. One is I'm having difficulty going vegan. Any tips on that? Do you have any tips on just like going vegan if you're struggling? And then we have a question about meditation, which is pretty cool.
Um, any tips on going vegan would, if you're having trouble, I would definitely suggest doing it progressively. Taking it meal by meal or day by day, or do one full day vegan, or just start having breakfast as vegan and do it progressively and slowly filter out anything that's not,
Mhm.
rather than jumping into the deep end, which doesn't work for a lot of people. So again, everyone's different, so take it at your own speed and don't get mad at yourself because it's not happening like that. Some these things take time. Find alternatives,
I
find
agree.
things that you love, and find them, the vegan alternatives of them, whether it's junk food, whatever it is, to help you get across that line, whatever it is. Yeah.
Agree, a trillion percent. Just it's about eating fewer animal products, eating less animals in the beginning, and then just go from there. Just ramp up. Just don't be so harsh on yourself. Don't be dogmatic. Just do that. And
Yeah.
as you're losing daylight, let's go to is it important to meditate after working out? I will say for me, the workout is the meditation, and yeah, meditate all the time. Be mindful all day long. Like just there's never a bad time to be mindful and be meditating and be with your thoughts and in your consciousness. So yeah, meditate as much as possible, whether it's practiced or unpracticed. Just everything should just to me that's what it would be. Just be extremely mindful of your mind and body throughout the day, and you're always meditating. Do you
I
practice
agree with you
meditation
now.
or
Yeah, so I meditate pretty much every night before I go to sleep. I sleep with my phone out of my room to, my room is my sacred space. Where I just go to rest and I go to heal. I've been doing this since the start of COVID. Actually, I sleep with my phone downstairs, so my room is like it's my abode. It's where my body goes to heal. So there's no radiation in the room. Um, yeah, and I meditate before I go to sleep every single night with breath work every single night.
okay?
And also, when I'm training, when I'm on the bike for 6 hours, or when I'm running for three
That's very
hours, that's my
meditative.
form of meditation as well.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
So
I
when
think it is
at night,
important to meditate.
yeah, at night I like to travel as far as possible in my thoughts, and then like as far as like actual physical practice meditation, that's in my training. So much thought on like connecting my brain to my body, so much thought on breathing, so I really consider that to be like a deeply spiritual meditative practice, and just again, yeah, daily life. So. Okay, so you do breathing exercises. I don't do breathing exercises, someone's asking. So if you want to say anything on breathing exercise, and then I don't want to keep you too long as the day slips away out there in beautiful Australia.
I do breathing exercises every morning as well. This I had brought in since seeing my osteo to get my ribs into place, ready for exercise, and to be able to get most of the air in the proper way. So I actually have a balloon. If you head onto my profile, it's in one of my in the highlight reels of my morning routine of what I do. So
Mhm.
basically, I lie on the floor with my hips raised and my butt tucked in, and I blow on the balloon. Then I hold the breath, and then I breathe in through my nose, and then I'll blow out again another 4 times. Do 4 rounds of that until the balloon's full, and then let it all out. And that gets my ribs into place to be able to get enough oxygen in for the day and for my training. So yeah, I do breathing exercises, and I think they're very, very important and overlooked quite often.
It's definitely overlooked by me. It's something I feel like I should be spending a little more time on. The only type of breathing exercise that I do is just in my training. I focus heavily on my breathing, and also another thing that I do. Just I don't know if anyone will find this useful, but I during my training I make sure that I can talk naturally and speak naturally with like no like real like grunting or strain during everything I do, including the hardest moves. So that way I'm actually using my body and not just my breath to try cheat something. So that's basically my breathing work, is just making sure that I'm able to breathe freely and speak freely during the most intense physical strain I'm under. But yeah, I should do more practice breathing. So I'm glad you brought that up. It's interesting that you use a device and you're using a balloon. That's very cool. So like, do you use a balloon, or you're just doing it like miming it?
No, no, there's an actual balloon. I don't know if I can show you.
Very
I can't
cool.
show you. Yeah, yeah,
A
actual balloon.
meditative training
Yeah,
tool.
it's
That's
great.
cool. That's cool to tell.
It's like a
That's
it's like a party every morning.
that that's very cool. That's very, very cool. Well, all right. So
Yeah,
this was amazing. This was like, wow, we went way over an hour. Sorry
so
about that.
good.
But like this was a really good time. Like yeah, let's definitely. I'd love to do this again sometime. Like it's so cool connecting to you. I hope this is beneficial to your people. I hope that I can't believe I actually had some people awake like tuning in. I'm pretty blown away by that.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
That's so good.
I love it.
I had so
Don't
much
forget to
fun
click
tonight.
save. Yeah, I'll have this on my profile
I'll
grid,
save
of
it.
course. And yeah, and yeah, this was beautiful. And like what an experience. What a beautiful conversation.
Thank you
Really
so much
appreciate it. Do
for
you have
sharing
anything
your
you want
morning.
to say? What's that?
No, unless anybody else has anything to say, I just want to thank everyone who joined. And thank you, RJ, for joining so early in the morning. It's been so great connecting with you.
Great.
And we speak, you know, on the same level. And you know, it's just amazing to meet like-minded people like yourself, and connect with you over here. And hopefully, we helped some people tonight, help answer some questions. And we'll do this again real soon.
Yeah, exactly. And if anyone has any questions or needs any help, just, hit me up in messages. I answer the messages very, very completely and fully, and I'm not stingy with
Me too.
information, and I never want anything. I just want people to spread good into the world. That's it. So, yeah, please reach
Amen to
out,
that.
communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jens,
Reach
this was
out. We're
this was
always
beautiful,
here. We're always
brother.
listening, guys.
Couldn't. And if you're
You go
through
back.
me, my God, please go to Jan's page. Please follow him. They're like such amazing reels, amazing workouts, amazing food. Like the food, just be
Follow
ready
my
to get
man
upset
RJ
that
as
you can
well,
get it.
guys.
So yeah, beautiful. Thank you,
I'm gonna,
brother.
thank you,
It's been a
brother.
blessing. Thank you, man. Later,
Send
my
you the love
man.
and leave you. We're gonna save this now. Thanks, guys. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
much love, guys. Thank you. Bye.